Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV live on Facebook and YouTube. As always, my name is John, your host, and I hope you're all doing well under these very, very difficult circumstances. We are now at episode 44 with a daily live chat with John. So guys, thank you very much for sticking with me over the last 6 weeks. It's been brilliant having these conversations. I love doing this with you guys. I really, really enjoy the conversations. If you're new to the channel and you're unsure of the concept, basically, what we do is we talk about anything for basically pretty much an hour. I'll talk to you about some things that I think you guys would like to talk about, and you guys obviously ask me questions as well throughout the stream. So as always, let's have a look to see who's in the live chat, just as everybody's clocking in, hopefully. Rick's in. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Nick, hello guys, hope you're doing fine. It's been a very, very busy Monday for me. Absolutely, honestly, it's just been wall to wall. There's so many things I've had to do. It's been brilliant. But you know, it's made the day go really quick, to be fair, which is really good, obviously, for a Monday. There's not that much. There isn't really that much to talk about again today, guys, but I'm trying to, so unfortunately we're gonna have to talk about one of the things that I don't like talking about all that much, which is transfer rumors, because I absolutely detest them. I really can't stand them, and I'll go into them in a few minutes as to why. Ben's back. Hello, mate, hope you're doing all right. Vernon's back. Hello, guys. Plus side of no work is I catch your show. Thanks, mate. It's always good to have you in the live chat. But guys, you know, as I said, we're just going to talk about a few things. First and foremost, non-West Ham related, but it's also quite an eye opener. It's going to be over the news, I reckon, quite a lot over the next few days. Is British Petroleum, aka BP, are to get rid of 10,000 jobs. Because the price of oil has been dropping, for quite a while, pretty much ever since January, really. So it's hard. It's hard. You know, there's other companies again being hit, and it's really it's difficult. It really is difficult for everybody. And you know, as I say, we're going to see more companies like this. Unfortunately, we've already seen McLaren. You know, we shed jobs recently. You know, we've seen BA are trying to do the same sort of thing, getting around the legal loopholes we talked about yesterday. It's difficult. You know, it's hard. It's hard for everybody. You know, it's difficult. You know, there's going to be times when you're going to turn on the news and it's going to be this company's making cutbacks, that company's going to make comebacks. 2 or 3 more million people are unemployed and stuff. You know, it's hard times, and we really need to remember this in these days. We really need to. So who else is around? Oh, Jay Jazz, hello mate. Hope you're doing all right. Gary's back. Gary Page, hello geezer. The Baron's back as well. But yeah, you know, it's difficult times we're in, guys, and you know, and let's just say this is the forefront of why I do these live streams every single night, regardless if there's anything to talk about or not. It's not to make content, even though that you guys enjoy it, and I enjoy talking to you guys every single night for the last 6 weeks. It's been fantastic catching up with you guys. It's not been so good that we've been losing subscribers. Maybe because as I said yesterday, I don't get why. I'm talking about football stuff. I'm engaging with you guys. You know, it's just, if anyone's got any ideas as to why that's happening, then by all means, please do let me know. But you know, as I say, I know people think there's not a lot to talk about, but there is. There is a lot. We've talked about a lot over the last 6 weeks. Some of it's been repetitive. Yeah, you know, okay, you know, we've done pub quizzes as well, for that matter, over the last couple of Sundays, and you guys have really enjoyed it by the looks of it. So I'm going to try and keep that going as long as I can. Maybe even make my own ones up as well. But you know, it was just it's bad. Jay Jazz says BP was giving my boy a job overseas and told him the recruitment had stopped. Sorry to see that, mate. Really am. Mark's in. Hello, mate. And Ian. There you go. Finally, when the chat catches up with what I'm doing. Hello, Mark. Nice to see you, Ian. Good to see you. Eden's back as well. Gary says, need to share your videos all over the place, John. Gary, I've been asking everybody every night for 6 weeks to share it. It's going to come. It's going to be listened to more by you guys than it is by me. I know I am. As I say, I've put the tags in for every possible thing you can go in. But it's tricky to get the right people in. But as I say, that's why I ask you guys to share it. Baron says there's always something good to talk about. There is, Baron. Yeah, not a lot at the moment because there's not much good going on in the world. We've seen this over the last week. What's happening in London, the stupidity that's happening there, which we talked about yesterday. The stupidity that's going along all in the rest of the world. But there's nothing good to talk about to a degree because we haven't got our lives back. I can't go to work properly. We can't see friends. We can't see our friends. We can't see our family. Baron says, sorry for the spelling. It's Tuesday morning here. I'm drunk. Okay, fair enough, mate. And but there are good things to talk about, and I try and find them as much as possible. Ian's brought up a subject that we will talk about. We will talk about that in a minute, Ian. Don't worry, it is literally on the agenda, shall we say? But to start off, Chris is back. Hello, guys. Hope you're doing all right. Sad information, and one I didn't think I would see. This is West Ham related, and over the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of places close, and Ken's Cafe is now closing. That's the heartbreaker. Ken's Cafe. I thought out of everywhere because apparently it's still doing business quite well, especially with all the building work that's been going on in the local area. A lot of builders apparently are going in there, according to Knees Up Mother Brown. But Ken's Cafe is closed. Now I don't know if it's closing today. The article seems to suggest that it is, or it's going to be closing by the end of the month. I don't know. But yeah. It's a sad time. That place has been going for donkey's years, absolutely donkey's years. I've had breakfasts in there pre-match day a few times. Very good cafe. It's a shame. It really, really is a shame that Ken's Cafe. Because obviously we've had Nathan's. We've had Nathan's pie and mash shop that closed. The Vic at the Victor in Plaistow, for that matter, closed a few weeks ago. The Earl of Wakeford. Wakefield, I should say, that closed relatively recently as well. The old life as we know it as a West Ham supporter is dead and dying. It really, really is, and it's a real shame that we're in this situation. It's a real shame. And I just want to say thank you. If anybody is watching that knows Ken's Cafe, then Barmies guys. If you guys, any of you are watching, which I highly doubt because the views aren't getting high enough, but I will say thank you very much to everybody that Ken's Cafe that served all of us on their behalf. I'm saying thank you to each and every one of you that have worked in that cafe over the years, because it was a watering hole for pre-match breakfasts. Everybody would go there at 10 o'clock in the morning before going on to the pub. And it's a really, 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 really sad thing. PB's in. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Gary Page says Upton Park area died the day the ground closed. It did. To a degree, it did. Yeah. West Ham is certainly in the minority in that area now. Certainly in the minority. And also, what was it not the weekend just gone, but the weekend before, Dagenham Street Market closed as well, just when you were able to start visiting it again. That was the heartbreaker. They could start getting their money in again, but probably because nobody had the money to get the stock there in the first place, and that's the heartbreaker. Dagenham Market was synonymous for everybody in North London. I'm going to say North England then. North London, East London, Northeast London, Northwest London. Some people travel across London to go there on the Saturday and Sunday morning. It's just. Mark, absolutely. The sweet stalls, yeah, they all went out of business pretty quickly as well. Unfortunately, the Central Hotel as well, for that matter. A watering hole of my uncle when he was a youngster. I had a few beers in there. Loads of places. And as Vernon says, Gold, Sullivan, and Brady indirectly ruined those businesses. Well, they directly ruined it because they took 95% of their trade away, and that was the problem. Yeah, if you've, I'm sure you guys all remember the quote in the Iron Man movie where Cole says, we're gonna consult with you, and we're gonna help you, and they didn't at all. They didn't. Suck the lifeblood out of it. But Mark, thank you very much for liking this on Facebook. It's much appreciated, sunshine. Okay, so this is interesting, and I'm not surprised this is coming as well, for that matter. But work has started on building a 12-foot fence around the perimeter of the Olympic Park, and we all know why, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? We all know why, because they are predicting some people to go to the ground on match day, and therefore not a 12-foot barrier around the stadium. It's the Olympic Park itself. It's literally that, because there's little hills you can sit on as well, for that matter, within that. So that's the thing. They are preempting the stupidity of our supporters, and I don't blame them to a degree. It makes complete sense. Makes complete sense that they would need to do that, because they don't want to risk it. They can't risk it. It's council property, and therefore they can do what they feel is right. And I will justify them 100% under this Newham Council. I agree with it, because you have to rule out the possibility of having supporters there, because it's not safe. Simply not safe. They're using their brains. They're using their brains. Mark, as I've just said, mate, it's not David Sullivan building a fence. Donald T. Sullivan. Sorry, Donald T. Sullivan building a fence. Ben said, yeah, they have said they can't open with the current situation. Dagenham Market is a great place. Yeah, it was, mate. Dagenham Market doing orders online, mate. Can you clarify that comment, please, mate? But yeah, no, as I said, I don't disagree with them. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea, but putting a fence up, I really, really do. Now we've obviously talked about the positions, the fixtures of everything, and I said that that when the fixture list originally came out, it looked like the last game of the season was going to be on the Saturday. It's not. It's going to be they've figured themselves out and then put it back onto the Sunday. So just as a recap, because I know, like for example, Ben hasn't been with us for a few weeks, but I know. Obviously, you won't be able to. You probably know this anyway, but I'm just going to go through the fixture list just one more time, just so everybody knows it. So, obviously we've gone over the first three games. We've talked about those vehemently because they're coming up this month, all on Sky Sports. All late kickoffs as well, for that matter. And then we're away to the Newcastle away on the 4th of July at 3 p.m. Again, this is subject to TV changes and also the health bill being what it is as well, for that matter, the state of the country and then the surrounding areas, of course. And then on the Wednesday, the 8th of July at 3 o'clock, at 8 o'clock, we're at home to Burnley. So that'd be interesting to see what toss up that's going to be. Who's going to have that? I'm guessing we'll be on Sky for that. But when it gets announced in a couple of weeks, we'll certainly discuss it. Norwich away on Saturday, the 11th of July at 3 o'clock. Watford at home, 8 p.m. on the Wednesday, the 15th of July. Man United away, 18th of July, if they don't progress to the FA Cup semi-final. That'll kick off at 3 o'clock. Otherwise, if they do go into the FA Cup semi-final, then the game will change to a midweek. So that more than likely be another Wednesday kickoff. And then Villa at home on the Sunday, the 26th of July at 3 p.m. And don't forget, guys, I will be doing a live watch along for every single game. I've got access to Sky, I've got access to BBC, obviously, BBC, Amazon, and BT. So we will be talking about every single game live as it happens. So I really hope you guys will be able to join. I know Mark's looking forward And I Mark's looking forward to seeing it. And Mark, if you want to have a look at what the watch-alongs are like, mate, go back and there's loads of watch-alongs for the. I did all the away games bar Arsenal this season, so go and have a watch of those if you want to see what the style's like. It's going to be a little bit different. I've got a different background ready now as well, so hopefully by this time next week everything will be nice and set up, and we'll be able to do the live watch-alongs when it comes to the Saturday. So that'd be good. Joe Nye's in. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. I'm going to keep on loving you. Thank you. That's a Wacko Jacko song, that, isn't it? No, I can't stop loving you. That's the song. Baron asked JP, you could and should host match that, mate. No way. No way. I haven't got these. Well, it'd be nice. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to be on Gary Lineker's wage. But but yeah, that will be fun to do that. It will be funny. Nick, will you stop asking this? No, I will not be watching La Liga. It's better than the German league. No, I'll probably will. I'll probably catch a game at some point over the next week or so. But yeah, it's not top priority. That's not top priorities at the minute, mate. I know you're addicted to football. You're getting your football hit. JJ says Dagenham Market probably selling our surplus stock. Maybe. Gary says, John, what about inviting people on from the chat? Not me. I'm too shy. Might encourage more people to your channel if they think they can get on. Anybody's welcome. Anyone's welcome, guys. If I'm now that we don't seem to be getting the trolls, I'm more than happy to put links in if any guys want to come on and talk. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Nick says, can't wait for the watch-alongs with you, mate. Good. It'd be good fun. Be good fun. I have asked a few people if they want to come on, and the people that I have asked have been very non-committal, unfortunately, which is understandable given certain things. But yeah, Mark can't wait for the watch-alongs. Kent's in. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Chris says, regarding the protest, enough is enough. They made their point, so I say bring in the military, go home. And I hope people who went to the beaches are proud of themselves. Yeah, I'm hoping that means the go home in the go to your house, not the normal connotations that comes with that, Chris, when you're talking about the demographic of who's been protesting recently. But yeah, the military's a little bit too hard. But this is the thing. I don't really want to get involved in this because I'm fed up with talking about this. I mean, I'm fed up with talking about transfers either, for that matter. But the police have done nothing wrong in this situation. In actual fact, they've been the most calm out of the lot, because I don't know if it's been over the last couple of days, but some of the video footage that I have seen, they've not turned up looking for a fight with the riot gear. You know, some of them have been called in because things are getting out of hand. But when it is happening, you know, every single day they're looking, you know, they're looking, you know, they are looking good. They are standing there being peaceful. So it's a shame that the people that are there to protest don't know how to peacefully protest. Also, the thing is the fact that there are certain groups amongst themselves, and quite rightly so, standing outside all day of certain key statues that were previously hit, and the people have taken their own time out to clean up after these people, clean up the rubbish they've left, clean up the what's the word? Clean up the graffiti as well, and they've also got people standing around the statues, and so that's very good. But that's as much as I want to go into it. As much as I want to go into it. Marx is better than Lineker. Well, I'm just as biased as he is to Leicester as I am to West Ham, so I can't really say. But thank you, mate. That's very, very appreciated. JP only watches Premier League and hentai. Shut up! I'm too old for hentai. Chris says, in 12 days, West Ham play Wolves. It's like Christmas, mate. Be very, very ready for very disappointing present that day. Jay says, should never have sold those water cannons. So I'm not talking about that any further, you know, because we're trying to keep politics and all that stuff out of it. Chris is saying he made peanut butter cups today. They are pretty good. Thanks, mate. Thanks for the daily update. One of these days you'll eat healthily. But as Ian said earlier, I'll just bring up the comment. Where are we? Yeah, glad to see Souček has extended his contract till the end of the season. He is the first of many that will be agreeing, from what I understand, to have his contract being extended. Agreed. It just shows you how much he wants to stay with the club. He said on numerous occasions, every time he's interviewed, mostly PR stuff, but he has said that he's very happy with West Ham, and he hopes that he said he's going to do everything that he can to make sure we stay up, because at the end of the day, that's the terms of his contract. If we stay up, he's signed. Boom. And he's gone. He's only gone if we're relegated. Apparently, everything's been agreed. It just has to. It's down to our and it's into our hands. It is down to our hands, as we all know, for the next 9 games. But it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Because he wants to see out his contract. Simple. I get it. Yeah, all they're doing is extending it by 5 or 6 weeks. Not even that. Even where are we? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks. So yeah, it's. I love the bloke for that. I really, really do. Gary says, have you seen the top 10s with Lineker, Wright, and Shearer on iPlayer? They're fun. I haven't watched those Match of the Day podcasts, mate. No, I haven't. I'm not really interested in what they've got to say, if I'm completely honest with you. I don't really like watching Match of the Day. I haven't watched liking it for a good few years. But yeah, if you're enjoying it, then by all means go for it, mate. Go for it. But as I say, on iPlayer, Gary, one thing I will recommend you watch is the first team you have, if you haven't already watched it. It's a very, very good sitcom. I've been watching that. All 5-6 episodes are on iPlayer. I've watched the first 3, so ahead of the BBC Two schedule so far. But it's good. Go watch it. Eden says Souček wants to help West Ham stay up so he can play more in the Premier League, which seems positive. Yes, agreed, Eden. And also, but down the fact that you can also argue the other side of this is the fact that he wants to put himself in the shop window at the same point, just in case the worst happens. You have to look at it from both sides. But yeah, I agree. Baron, I'm not putting that information up about Grady. That's completely wrong in every single shot. Vernon says, hopefully Souček will put in the graft and ensure we stay up. Been a problem position for us for a while. And in Vernon's opinion, he will make the difference whether we survive or not. That's a lot of pressure, mate, for someone who's only played 4 or 5 games. Isn't it? Well, no. Where are we? 6 games? 6, 7 games? Problem area? Not really, because we've always had Noble and Rice over the last few seasons in those positions. We've had loads of centre defensive mids. If anything, central defensive midfielder is not a position that's been in a worrying position. It's been defence, midfield, and itself, and more specifically attack. I wouldn't have said that defensive midfield is a problem that we've had. In comparison to the other problems that we've had, we haven't got enough. We haven't, with the exception of Ogbonna and Diop on his day, we haven't got enough defenders that will put their lives on the line to stop goals being conceded. Midfielders, we've got too many fanciful players and not players enough that are going to be able to do much more than just kick the ball about, rather than being a box to fox field and try and make a few positions here and there open up. The strikers, don't get me started on that, mate. But I know where you're coming with it. But yeah, it's just. Yeah, it's not. It's not something I'm that concerned about. Ian says Souček is an exciting player. I really want to see him play for us next season. Agreed. I like the look of him when he made his debut, and he's definitely one of the people that I would put on the team sheet. Gary says, I just hope Souček doesn't get another injury. Not sure if he was unlucky last time, or is he's not injury prone, Gary. He has never had an injury before he came to West Ham. I honestly think what he had was a little bit more than cramp, maybe, but yeah, it's just it does my head in. So then why do we concede goals for all the run? Then why do we concede goals for fun? I think you mean all the time. Our midfield gets overrun because, as I said, we have players that just want to kick the ball around in midfield rather than actually trying to say there's a difference between midfield and central defensive midfield. There's completely different things. You have to get the right player in for that. And the midfield we've had too many players that aren't really the midfielders that we need, and the sort of midfielders we have had that are the sort of midfielders we've needed, we've kind of let go. Suchek, Kawati, as a prime example of that. We should have kept hold of him. He irritated a lot of people, but he did what he needed to do, just not on a frequent basis. Chris says our signings getting better. Our signings, I think you mean, are getting better and better. We're not signing RAPs for once, as well as Fornals. I remember when he signed it's finally a young talented player, and Diop for that matter. Yep. I mean, obviously we bought in Balbuena, who looks like he's going to be sold in the next couple of months. When the summer transfer window opens, which is coming around to bring around to a few things in a minute. But Gary says even if we needed Nolan to install some passion, it's now. So I'm happy we have him. Well, we've only got him to the end of the season, mate. I know what you mean, but there are things that he does worry. It does worry me that he's only appointed to the end of the season. If Moyes had I was going to say if Moyes had a longer intention, he'd have to be on a longer contract, but I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say is maybe Nolan is hoping to get a managerial career next season. I think that might be the reason, because he says he misses it and he wants to do it again. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Janai says Jared Bowen. But Bowen, I think you mean there, has a great potential too. I can see him scoring a goal or two. Well, he's already scored a goal. He scored a goal in his home debut against what was it? Wasn't Bright? Yeah, Southampton, wasn't it? Yeah. Sofian's in. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Chris says maybe training staff are teaching them to have injuries won. I'm not sure what you mean by that, mate. Unless you meant to use the one as an exclamation mark. Maybe training staff are teaching them to have injuries. Possibly. It could happen. Sofian says, have you spoken about Eze? Not yet. We will do in a minute, mate. Chris says, CDMs are tall, strong, a good passers, central midfielders, more of attacking players. Yeah, I see where you're going with it, there, everyone. And as I say, central midfielders need to be strong passers. If I'm honest with you, you look, I've never lied to you before, but you know what I mean. We need players in the midfield like Trevor Brooking, for example, Super Scotty Parker, for that matter. Just players that will just break play, get into the ball, get there, pass the ball superb, into the right times. Trevor Morley. I was going to say Tony Gale then, but he was left back, wasn't he? Just players like that, just really, really good open play midfielders. That's what we're missing. That is exactly what we're missing. It really, really, really does. It really does hurt, But the midfield gets overrun. Yes, we know that because a lot of the time we've had OEPs there, as we've just mentioned. We've got a younger midfield now. We've got, from one point of view, we've got Fornals, Nolan, Noble, Rice, Bowen, to lack of extent, Antonio in there. Unless I already said it, Fornals. You know, Anderson to a degree. You know, he's only 26, 27, so he's still old for the midfield, but not, if you know what I mean. It's as Mark's saying, another player like John Moncur is exactly who we need. Yeah, perfect timing there, mate. Chris says this pandemic has affected Bowen massively in sports. I mean, good form than this. I said it's affected everybody. It's affected every single player, every single one of them. They're looking trimmer. Allaire is looking a lot more fit than he was beforehand, which is, I think, is fantastic news. I mean, maybe he's been shagging his missus more than he should have been, but you know, it's brilliant. The players look pumped. The players look like they should a couple of months ago. Football speaking wise, they look as they should have looked when they're in the January-February period. That's we need to. That's the one thing that has let us down more than anything else is players' fitness abilities. We have, you know, even the likes of, you know, okay, there's still a bit of a doubt to a degree over Wilshere. There's still a bit of doubt over Yarmolenko. There's still a bit of a doubt over Fredericks, but they're all confident that they're going to be back in ready within the next week and a half for Wolves Saturday week. So it's looking good. It is looking good. I really, really hope it's all good. Jay Jazz asks, how many goals will Bowen, Allaire, Antonio score? I think both Bowen and Allaire will hit the net. Bowen and Antonio will hit the net. Yeah, agreed. I think Allaire will as well. Especially if we're getting we'll get some decent service to us, as we've always said. I think Allaire is going to be a bit more mature now. As I say, he's looking fitter. He's looking more switched on. From what you're seeing in the, I know the videos that gone up. It's been last 2 or 3 days edited into 12-minute video, but it just fills you with confidence. If that confidence is misplaced is another matter, but we'll only wait and see. Jano says it wasn't too long ago when we saw the whole team do one and the other do one and the other. Now it's all back on, so it seems like it's gone so quick for Billy Bond. Can you just repeat that, mate? So there seems to be a bit of strangeness in there, creeping in there. Kieran says, morning from Brisbane. Hope you're all well. Good morning, mate. It's nice to chat to you quickly with at the Claret Blue Army stream this morning. Mark, again, prime example, and we need an Ian Bishop. Definitely. Chris says, when people say Ronaldo and Messi are the best player of all time, it makes me laugh. I like to see Ronaldo in the 60s and not getting pampered as much. That's a very, very good point there, Chris. Yeah. The best of all time since the Premier League days. It's hard to argue anything against that. But yeah. And Mark is picking up on that on a ploughed field, Chris. Yeah. Mark, can you, and everyone else for that matter, who knows what I'm about to, who knows the circumstances I'm talking about, can you see them playing in a mid-80s football pitch, or a late 70s, early 80s football pitch? No way, not going to happen. JJ is saying, John, you're right. Team looking sharp. Yeah. Baron says, JP, who is your favourite non-West Ham player? It's still Damari Gray. I absolutely love watching that kid. I really, really do. He is my favourite. I mean, when we play Leicester, I really try and keep quiet when he's on because I really enjoy what he does. I think it's an absolute prospect, and just the way that he plays the whole time. I just like him. I really, really want him to play for us. I really do. He'd be brilliant in our midfield, especially down the wing. Absolutely spot on. Chris says, I don't think buying loads of players is the answer. Agreed, because you need to trust the players you already have. The only players are fullbacks. And what you mean? The players we need to bring in are fullbacks. I'm guessing there, mate. It's all right, Jano. I know you're not English, mate. It's fine. It's not a problem. And Kieran says, a Norman Hunter behind you. Agreed. Mark says, I'd love to see George Best play on today's pitches. Mate, that would be hysterical. As I say, have the likes of let's say like Trevor Morley, John Moncur, Trevor Brooking, those guys in their prime playing today, we'd be in a much better shape. Much better shape. We really would. And I says, it seems like it has been a long time since football stopped, and it was Billy Bond's day not long before it stopped. Now, yes, the Newcastle game. Yes, you're right, spot on. Stopped now. It's back on. Seems like yesterday. That does help. But yeah, no, I kind of had a feeling of where you were going with it. But yeah, I know, mate. It's Google Translate's not brilliant. You try doing it in from English into your native language, it's hysterical. It really is funny. So if you get bored, any guys for that, any of you for that matter, just put in a word in English, translate it into whatever the whatever language you want, and then translate that, copy that back and swap it round and get that word, that phrase translated back into English. Some of it is hysterical. It really, really is funny. Baron says, good answer. Personally, mine is Sionuchu. I think you pronounced that. Flaming Gaming. Hello, guys. Hope you're doing all right. John, do you know any good gentlemen's clubs in your local area? No, there isn't any. So you've got at least one troll trying to be funny. Ian says, Ronaldo and Messi ankle deep in mud would be a sight to behold. Mate, it would be brilliant. Time travel for a second here. Yeah, Back to the Future style sort of thing. Time dilation of Ronaldo in playing alongside George Best against Leeds in a murky February FA Cup game. That would be funny. At Leeds, at Ellen Road, that would be brilliant. That would be one of the funniest things ever. Says, are you giving us a strum and song tonight, John, or are you teasing us with the guitar as a backdrop? It's not a backdrop. It's just I just thought it was overbearing sitting there, so it's a bit better there. But as I said, guys, we have to get to 1600 if you want to hear me sing again. It's as simple as that. Now, also for you guys, that I know a lot of you like to do fantasy football league, and I think I don't think any of you are actually in the channel team. I mean, obviously, there's no point joining it now. I've got 9 games to go, but the Premier League Fantasy League has relaunched today, and from now until when the season restarts, apparently there's unlimited transfers as well. So for anybody that's watching the replay of this, like Darren, for example, when you're watching this early tomorrow morning for our time, get jumping into it, guys, and anyone else that's in the football fantasy league table teams, then Barmies, just go for it. Absolutely go for it. Make a lot of changes. I'm definitely doing that. I'm definitely making some changes because I've got a lot I need to sort out. I really, really do. Mark says he's got my albums anyway. Nick says, I'm starting Fantasy League when it begins. There's no point doing it now, mate. Do it next season. Nick says, can you build a draft now? I think you can. Have a look at it. Gary says, oops, it's come through twice for some reason. Gary says, some of us have been around long enough to see West Ham win the FA Cup twice and watch them go past in the bus towards East Ham, Council building. What is your best memory, John? I've seen none of that. None of it at all. My best memory from that side of things was the 2012 playoff against Blackpool when we won it. That's the first one that comes to mind under that scenario. Second one is the going to Birmingham in the semi-final of the League Cup and getting absolutely trolleyed. That was an awful game to watch, but very good day. Good laugh with those guys. Kieran says, I think 11 points will be enough. What's your take, JP? I still say 9. I still say 9. 90minute.com. I've done a league prediction of how many points they think we're gonna get, and they say 11. I think, was it 11 or 12? I said 12. They said we finished on 39 points. So I said our calculation gets us to 26. So yeah, they've predicted we'll get 12 points out of the next 9 games. So they're not really that not really that much, or that what's the word, confident as either, for that matter. Mark, who was the first player you saw score at Upton Park? West Ham player. Mine's Alunga. Remember him? Who was the first one I saw score? Because it would have been the Macclesfield Town Cup game in 2007 or 2008, one of the two. Stanislas, was it Stanislas? I think. I know Noble's. I can't remember. It's been a long time ago. A lot further back than that, that's for sure. Jay Jazz says, do you think we'd be back at the stadium during next season? No, I don't. I really don't. But Baron says, why am I kitted? I mean, you're not muted, mate, because it's just the fact that you've got to join in with the conversation. That's the whole point of this. Is this just not just get involved in what we're talking about, as well as you can ask me questions, but you've also got to get involved. This is the whole point of it. Chris says, John, your favourite manager of the last decade? Last decade's difficult because we've got Avron Grant, Allardyce, Bilic, Moyes, Pellegrini, Moyes. So 6 managers in 10 years. It's a difficult. I haven't, to be honest with you. I enjoyed Slav's stuff. I enjoyed Pellegrini's stuff, but they were sacked just at the right time, unfortunately. So there wasn't a favourite. So I can't say Allardyce because I didn't enjoy a lot of the stuff. I enjoyed his first season, but that was about it. Phil Kent, hello mate. Good to see you back. It's been a while. I know you've covered this. I know you have covered similar before. But Nick in West Ham Fan Teacher said, if the games can't be played with fans, then they should not be played at all. I totally agree. What do I think? What do you think? Yeah, I said right from the start, mate. When after it was announced after the Arsenal game that the football would be suspended, I said cancel it. Just stop it. Bum. You know, it's just that's the thing. It's just wham bottom, and so go into it. Yeah, but this is the thing. Just really good. It's a really good idea to stop it. But we've all pretty much said the same thing. I've said it should be suspended and football shouldn't come back until everyone's, because it's everyone can enjoy it properly. But that's the situation we are. John I says, we must be the only team to be inconsistent much with so many players. Get to the point when it isn't managers and footballs but owners. It is, mate. We're already there. We're already at that point. It's the managers are irrelevant. The players are irrelevant. There's a really good quote in The Damned United where the owner of Derby is talking to oh God, why has his name just jumped out of my head? Oh Christ Almighty! I'm terrible with names, but the manager of Clough, Brian Clough, where he says to him that this is the order of things at the football clubs. The owners, the fans, sorry, the owners, the football, the players, the fans, the kit men, is it the kitchen, the cleaners, and all this stuff, and then the manager. The manager is bottom of the pile, and that's it's the way it's always been. That Ben Davis says football fans may not be allowed to attend games for a long time. Hopefully, not the case. Though, mate, it's going to be until everybody's vaccinated. It's the only way it's going to be. Mark says quite rightly so. We need football to escape all the politics. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming very very soon. Closest. Gary Page says if there's no new cases after recent marches, then why not let us back, mate? It's the bigger picture. It's the bigger picture. A few thousand people walking down Westminster Bridge and all that sort of stuff in comparison to 57,000 people congregating in one small area. That's the bigger picture. That's why it's not going to happen. John Rice says in his country, everyone still plays football and no one has died yet of the coronavirus. Everyone died of alcohol poisoning anyway, so no difference. Yep, true. But again, it's that's got nothing to do with it, mate. I know why you're saying it. But it's got no significance in there because the stats are completely different. The populations are different. It's completely different. You know, it's like it's like with the what's the word? It's like with New Zealand. They're coronavirus free, because they've done things a lot quicker and a lot sharper, and their distribution of their populations, shall we say, is a little bit different to Britain. So it's every completely different things on that. Now, so for what Sofiane was saying, we've got an interloper in. There's an O fan in the there. Thanks, Teresa, for loving the stream on Facebook, and thank you very much, you attention seeker. Baron says, I can't wait for actual fans in crowd, real atmosphere. Agreed. I'll tell you one thing. I'm certainly not selecting fake audience sounds. I'm not doing that, guys. I hope you guys aren't. They're not doing it either, for that matter. Now, to come on to what Sofiane said earlier about Eze, because I said I wasn't going to talk about transfers, but we've got just over 12 minutes left. Janai says they have no corona test here for us, so we do not know if we have it. So they say no one have it, but we don't know. That's the thing, mate. Brazil have changed their deleted all their historical data from all records. So they're trying to hide the fact that they've had a massive increase in the coronavirus, because it's going to dent their tourism the way it's going to dent ours. And it's the way it's going to dent the US as well, for that matter. It's the fact that they're trying to hide everything. Emrali Mike's in. Hello, mate. Good to see you again. Do you fancy popping on? But yeah, apparently with Gabriel is what was it, Gabriel? Or Eze, the QPR player that we're linked with, he's now got a £20 million price tag on his head, because, and the same reason why Declan Rice has allegedly got an £80 million price tag on his head is because QPR do not want to sell him. £20 million is a lot of money for next season. Bearing in mind, loads of clubs are actually financially strapped. They are not going to want to get rid of a very good prospect, and that's the reason why he's got £20 million. And apparently, from the stories, we'll have to wait and see what X says in the next couple of days, and some proper, reliable sources on it. But we'll have to wait and see what goes there. But as I say, at the same point, it's understandable that they want to keep him, because, as I say, he's a massive prospect for the club, and he really fancies the James way to go for it. So, it's unfortunate, but it's inevitable that prices are going to get inflated. I mean, £20 million is a lot of money anyway. To you and me, it's certainly a lot of money. And unless we sell the likes of Yarmolenko, maybe Anderson, is Balbuena, Wilshere, Lanzini, etc., etc. If we sell 2 or 3 players on big money, then we'll bring in someone like Eze. We really will. And that's the thing. We won't see it until otherwise. Now, I know I mentioned this yesterday, but this rumor seems to be going ahead, regardless of what all the actual real source people are saying, and it's about it's about Mishi Batshuayi, right? Richie's in. Better late than never, mate. Hope you're all right. Which we'll come on to in a minute. I'm just going to catch up with a few of the comments in here. Baron says, saying fake audience noise is too plastic and doesn't match the game. Mate, it's awful on sitcoms. It's absolutely awful on sitcoms. A lot of sitcoms, it's not being used so much nowadays. But there's awful on sitcoms, like for example, Seinfeld. One of my favorite sitcoms over the last few years, The Big Bang Theory. Jesus Christ, the amount of fake audiences on that. Now, a lot of them are genuine audience laughter, even Friends for that matter. Because there was a good program that I watched on YouTube a couple of months ago about the canned laughter, which is but yeah, canned laughter, JP, shocking, agreed. And so Ben says the same thing. Never sounds right, agreed. But that's the thing. It's just the fact that so a lot of sitcoms are made for it. I mean, there was a Richie, not all the time, mate. Not all the time. You do the research on it. Trust me. It's been publicly confirmed. When it started out, same with Friends. When Friends started out, they had live audiences, but the problem is they had to use canned laughter because some of the audience from different takes. So they had to reshoot a few things and put in genuine live audience laughter on that because they were laughing in the wrong places or they were laughing too long, which meant the timing the comedy was wrong and all that sort of stuff. It's not like a case of being filmed in front of nobody and then there's a live laughter track over it. Canned laughter has been used in many ways over the last 70 years, and so there's loads of different things on this. D. Lee said curb your enthusiasm, had none. Agreed. All right, guys. For some reason, I can't view your comments anymore because it's asking me to update my browser, which is a bit random. It's a bit strange that. So apologies on that. So for the next 7 minutes, I'm just going to talk to you guys about Mishi Batshuayi and why it's not going to happen. So apologies on as I say, I can't literally. If I put this up, it says please update your browser. So that's a bit random. But some of you guys are coming in, some of you guys aren't. That's a bit strange. Phil Kent says back to West Ham and managers. You said on fan cam once that you thought there was more going on with managers in the board. Good first season, poor second season, happens over and over. Thoughts? It does, mate. It does. Reason being, guys, Phil, is because that's what happens. The first season, the manager is given carte blanche to do whatever he wants. It happened with Allardyce. It happened with Bilic. It happened with Pellegrini. They get the time to do whatever they want, and then Sullivan goes, right, you've had your time. This is my football club now. You're going to be playing this player. You can bring in the players that you want, but I'm bringing in this player, that player. Allardyce said it himself that it was a Allardyce said it himself that that Sullivan will bring in a player. Said, right, I've signed this guy, and you're gonna play him, right? And it happens every single time. Yeah, and that's a very, very good moment. Yeah, good comment there. YouTube's having a senior moment. So Yanai, you're apparently you need to update your browser. That's a bit strange. It's a bit strange that. Yeah, everybody's few of them are coming through. It's just weird. I don't know what browsers you guys are using, but so I can see it, and we seem to be getting some of the trolls coming back in again, which is a bit of a shame. But no, as I say, Phil, that was the situation. Yeah, that's the situation that the cycle happens every single time, and we blame the managers. When in actual fact, if you think about it, over the last 15 years, since we've had the likes of Kirbishley, Zola, etc., the cycle's happened every single time, and it's too much of a coincidence. That we're seeing the same. We're seeing the same repeats every single time. I know what you're talking about, Phil, because that was the thing. That's exactly because I remember when we talk about it, which was a couple. If I remember correctly, I can't remember which home game it was, but it was a couple of weeks ago, couple of weeks before Pellegrini was fired, saying because he was saying that we're seeing the same things, and I said, actually, Nicky, mate, you go further back than Bilic. We saw the same thing under Allardyce and stuff. It happens every single time, every single time. It's bizarre. It is bizarre. But yes, Peter, I can read this. testing. Phil says yes, it was. I do agree and think it's a good point. Bilic was a classic example for sure. Allardyce, same thing. Pellegrini, much more concentrated version of it. But yes, Chris, yours is showing up. If you can see it in the chat, you can see it on the screen. But guys, as I said, guys, okay, so please let me talk about Michy Batshuayi, why it's not going to happen. Okay, because at the end of the day, I'll tell you the reasons why. One, we've tried to sign him 3 times beforehand. He's rejected us every single time. 2, Chelsea want 40 million for him. Not going to happen at West Ham. 3, if we do submit a bid for 40 million, he's going to want more than the 90 grand a week that he's currently on. Not going to happen. 4, he's 26. Not going to happen. 5, he's not worth 40 million. It's as simple as that. 5 easy steps as to why you need to be ignoring the Michy Batshuayi rumor, because it's just that. It's a rumor. He's more than likely, if he is going to go anywhere, and if the takeover happens, he's going to Newcastle, or he's going to be going back. He's going to be going abroad. Excuse me. They don't technically. I personally think that Batshuayi should stay at Chelsea because him and Timo Werner would make a good partnership. I genuinely think it will. Batshuayi as the backup striker for him, I think would be very, very well. Richie makes a very, very good point. It won't happen because he's shit. Yep. Danny, you need to update your browser, mate. Ben Davis says that we need defenders in. Agreed, that's the priority. Baron says he really doesn't want to play for us. Does he? 3 rejections. Yeah. We tried to get him. What was it for? Obviously the first season at the London Stadium. We tried it. I think we tried again for him the season afterwards, and we tried for him or the season after that, I should say. And we tried him before we tried to get him before he went to Palace. He's not interested. He's not interested whatsoever. Kieran James says, what time do you come on in UK? Kieran, if that's towards me, it's 6:30, as it has been for the last 6 weeks. Vernon says, he's been a jerk. Honestly, I'd rather have you kill. At least he has the right attitude. Agreed. JJ says, our largest signing would be 10 million, if that, even if we sell. Possibly. Mark says, dig your old boots out, lags. This is a Emanike. This is a free forum. If you don't like what the language I'm doing, then that's up to you. I'm not gonna. I just show that I'm Christian as well. It doesn't make any difference. So it's clear that you're not the striker, the player that you're pretending to be, because otherwise you'd be used to it. You would have heard a lot worse language at West Ham than that. STV's vlogs, loves your streams, Johns. Thanks very much. Subscribe. Nick says, "Do you think Newcastle takeover is going to happen?" Personally, it might not happen. That's why I said if, Nick. I don't know. It's in the hands of the gods. It really the football gods, and it's in the hands of the Premier League. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Either way, the Geordies will find something to complain about in a few months. But if it gets rejected on ethical grounds, I can understand the reason why. Rishi says we are linked to the same players every transfer window. I believe the ones that we haven't been linked to before. But Richie, agreed 100%. I've said it many times. I know you're relatively new to the channel, so you haven't seen my previous videos because I don't do transfer rumors videos until I see at least 3 different sources say the same thing. Then you can understand. And I mean, reliable sources say the same thing. As irritating as CNH is, they are a very reliable source. As great as X is, he is a fantastic source, and I always listen to him. If I see something coming up from another source that I know is reliable, then bam, yeah, take it 100%. But yeah, we are always linked to a player. Any player that's available from a free to 15 to 20 million pound. We've had that link every single transfer window, and even when the transfer windows aren't open, we still have the same thing, and that's where it boils down to. That's why I don't listen to them, because it's all paper talk. The same rumours floating around. Matty Cash is a prime example for it. We put a bid in January. It made it bought the story came out again in March, because there was nothing to talk about. So I thought, right, well, what we haven't talked, it's like the trolls that are in this chat trying to get the same things, talk about the same things time after time under different names. It's the same things. You can spot it a mile off. Ian says about WHU, really don't rate him anymore. Maybe 3 or 4 seasons ago I'd have taken him, but not now. Agreed, Ian. 100%. That's exactly the time we were trying to get him as well, allegedly. But guys, in the meantime, thank you very much for your time. We'll wrap it up there. We'll wrap it up there. It's been some great fun to talk to you guys as always, and it's been nice. We've had steady numbers viewing tonight. It's been good. So if you like the channel, and if you're new and you want to have more conversations with us, respectful, of course, then by all means, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get to know when new videos are going up. By all means, please do share. Chris, before you bugger off, please do share this content on Facebook, YouTube, where if you have a YouTube account, no, you can't do it on that, can you? But Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, just try and share it. It'd be nice to get more people, because I know you guys are waiting for me to crack the guitar out, and it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen under these viewing figures, because we're a long way off that. People are leaving rather than subscribing. So thanks guys for all your support. It's fantastic to say it. Kieran, I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Mark, thanks for your support. Ian as well. Phil, Chris, Nick, Kieran. Also, I already mentioned Kieran as well. All you guys that come back every single evening to have conversations with me and each other. It's fantastic. It's the whole point of this series of videos. It's literally a series of videos. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow evening at 6:30, as I always do. All the best now. Take care.